Okay, so this is our Chapter 4 end review for Math 6. So this is going to be covering the area of trapezoids as well as polygons on the coordinate plane. So we'll be plotting points and finding the area and perimeter of those shapes that we're creating. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first problem says to find the area of the trapezoid. Now remember that when we're finding the area of trapezoids, or honestly any shape, we want to make sure we write the formula first. So this formula is going to be one we have to memorize for our test tomorrow. And that formula is A equals, so the area equals 1/2 times the height, and then in parentheses base 1 plus base 2. So that's our formula. We always want to start with that. Here we're already given what base 1, base 2, and our height already are. So we're going to do our next step, which is the plug-in step. So 1/2 times the height, which is 2, and then in parentheses base 1, which is 4, plus base 2, which is 8. From there, we're going to follow our order of operations, and it tells us to do what's in parentheses first. So the only set of parentheses that has any sort of math to do is going to be this last one here. We need to add those together. So we should get on our next line of work, A equals 1/2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 8 plus 4, which is 12. And then from here we have a couple choices. Since the number that our 1/2 is next to is also even, I'm actually going to do that. So 1/2 of 2, so half of 2 is 1, and then I'm going to multiply that by the number I've left over, which is 12. So the area here should be 12. And area is always squared, but we're not given any units. So since we don't have units, we're going to label it with units. And area is squared, so our answer here is 12 units squared. So here we have 5 lines of work. That's pretty common. Make sure that you practice writing that formula so you remember it tomorrow, since we won't be given that. Our next problem, here we're given a picture, so we have to find the area of this trapezoid from the picture. So again, I'm going to start with the formula. A equals 1/2 height, in parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. Remember that our two bases are the sides that are parallel, so these are our two bases, and this is going to be our height. So we're going to plug in A equals 1/2. Our height is 4, and our base 1 we're going to say is 6 inches, and base 2 is 8 inches. So again, we have to do order of operations, so we have to do what's in parentheses first. So we have A equals 1/2 times 4, and then 8 plus 6 is 14. So now again, we have our choice. We have our choice. 1/2 of 4, we could do 1/2 of 14. I'm going to do 1/2 of 4. That's going to give us 2 times 14. So our area here should be 28, and then our label is going to be inches squared. Now what I'd like for you to do, if you are first hour, right now I want you on the paper that you're working on, go ahead and draw a smiley face on the top left-hand corner of your paper. Our next problem says find the area of the trapezoid. Again, we have to find base 1, base 2, and height from the picture. So I'm going to write the formula first. A equals 1/2 height, and then parentheses base 1 plus base 2. Our bases are our parallel sides, so those two there. This is going to be our height. So A equals 1/2 times 6. Base 1 is 7.7, base 2 is 2.3. And although we have these decimals here that we're going to have to add, when we add them together, we end up getting a whole number. So our next line should be 1/2 multiplied by 6, and then 7.7 plus 2.3 is going to be 10. So I'm going to do half of 6. So 1/2 of 6 is going to give us 3 times 10. So here our area is 30 inches squared. Now if you are in 5th hour, I'd like for you to right now on the top left-hand corner of your paper, go ahead and draw a circle. Okay, so here it says find the area and perimeter of the shape. So what we have to do first is plot our 4 points. And remember, we're going to go left or right first, then up or down. So we're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to label that. We have to make sure we label our points, J. Our K is 7, 2. Label that K. L is 7, 8. Label that L, excuse me. And then M is 1, 8. Connect those together. Where'd that line go? Okay, so what we need to do first is find the area and perimeter. So we need to decide what shape this is. So I'm actually going to count the side lengths first since we need to know those anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's also 6. So since two of the side lengths, the length and the width, are actually both 6, we know that this is a square. So the perimeter of a square is we're going to add up all the sides. So the perimeter here is 24, and since we don't have any labels, it's going to be units. And perimeter is not squared. Here, the area formula is length times width. So again, we already know the length and the width is 6 multiplied by 6. So our area is 36. Again, we're going to use units, but area here is squared. So the perimeter is 24 units. The area is 36 units squared. If you are in 6th hour, I want you to draw a star on the top left-hand corner of your paper now. Next problem. Find the area and perimeter of the shape. Again, we have to plot our points first. So 3, 0. And again, if this helps, I'm going to do left to right first, then up or down. So 3, 0. 3, oh, that is S. 3, 9 is T. 8, 9 is U. And then 8, 0 is V. I'm going to connect those together. This one is actually a rectangle. So I'm going to find the perimeter of the rectangle and the area. So the perimeter, we have to find the distance around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 units. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. So we know this is 5 and this is also 9. So it's 5 plus 9 plus 5 plus 9. So the perimeter here is 28 units. The area for a rectangle is length times width. So the area here, the length is going to be 5, the width is going to be 9. So our area is 45 units. And again, we need to make sure that is squared. So we have perimeter and we have area. Our last two problems are going to be creating shapes. So we're actually going to be plotting points on a coordinate plane based on information that we're given. So the first shape that we're going to create is a rectangle with the area of 30 square units. Area of 30 square units. So what I want to think about first is a rectangle normally looks generally like that. We know that there's two sets of parallel sides, and those two sets of sides are different lengths. We also know that the formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width. So we have to think about, if we know that the area is 30 square units, what could the length be and what could the width be in order to draw this rectangle? And there's a few potential answers. So I like to think of what could be length, what could be width to make this 30. So one option I instantly think of is 3 and 10. The length could be 3, the width could be 10. Because if we're multiplying 3 times 10, we do get 30. So that is correct. So if I decided to do this, I would draw a rectangle on here. I'm going to say the length is 3. So that's going to be 3 units long. And then I have to make sure, I'm going to have to erase that. If the length is 3, the width has to be 10. So I would have to draw my rectangle like this. And that would be fine. Now another one I could do would be if the length was 6 and the width was 5. And that may be a little bit easier to actually fit on this graph. So I'm going to make the length, let's see, 1, oops. And it doesn't matter where you put it on the graph as long as the length is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the width is 5. And then I would finish that rectangle there. So that could be my rectangle this side here. So there's a couple choices that you can use. As long as it fits on the graph, anyone is fine. It doesn't matter where you put it as long as it's actually on the graph. Our next one's a little bit different. It asks us for a square. And we know that all side lengths of a square are the same. And we want perimeter of 16 units. So to find the perimeter of a square, or actually any shape, the perimeter is when you add up all the side lengths. So add up the outside lengths. Here we know that a square has to be every side the same. So we know that we want a total, the perimeter is a total of 16 units. And we know to find perimeter of this square, we would do some number plus another number plus another number plus another number. And we know that all of these numbers have to be the same. So if we're thinking about in that way, 16 divided into 4 equal parts is going to give us 4. And that's the only way that this could be a proper square. So every side length needs to be 4 units long. So anywhere on this graph, and this is actually the only option, but anywhere on this graph, as long as every side length is 4, we're okay. So I could put my square there. If I wanted to, I could put my square here. It doesn't necessarily have a specific spot. As long as every side length is 4, it doesn't matter. So those are 3 options. I could put it really anywhere as long as every side length of this square is 4 units in order to make the perimeter 16 units. So that is the end of our video. Go ahead and rewatch anything if you feel like you need to practice something a little bit more. Make sure you take really great notes, study really hard, and you'll do wonderfully tomorrow. Good luck studying.